Okay, so if you've been following us, you know that when we went to Texas and New Mexico and all that, it got kind of cold. So while we were in New Mexico, we ran into Lowe's in Alamogordo and picked up the Tough Buddy heater, made by Mr. Heater. And there it is. And let me tell you, this thing will heat up this trailer. We have a 6x10, if you don't know. And we had it on low, and it roasted us out pretty much. We went 4 hours on it, and yeah, we woke up. I was smothering, and I'm cold all the time. And we turned it off, and the heat that was in here stayed in here until we woke up, and actually got up for the day. So we only had to run it like 4 hours on low to like really heat this camper up. Now, a lot of people will say that you don't need to ventilate because it's made for, indoors, and it says it's indoor safe. But we went ahead and opened the window up. Did we open it all the way or just part way? Part way. And we had a fan that was circulating the heat around and stuff, and, the air. And we didn't have any issues whatsoever. But we didn't want to take a chance. We don't have a carbon monoxide yet. So carbon monoxide detector thing, yeah, we don't have that yet. And we didn't really think to grab one. We were just thinking I was cold. So anyway, he's gonna go ahead and show you how you start. This takes the what is that, it's a 1 pound, and it just screws in there and just sits there like that, and that's all. It lifts up with it.
It does have it has a little magnet in here, so whenever you get done screwing it in there, and it attaches, and it's pretty secure.
I didn't even know that. You taught me something. Yeah. And then it has the handle, so you can pick it up, and in the little, it's really lightweight.
Maybe 10 pounds.
Yeah, if that. I don't even know if it's that. It's really lightweight because I was toting it around.
It also does have the detector of if the oxygen level gets too low wherever you're heating, it will shut off. And it also has the tip, so if it tips backwards, tips forwards, it automatically shuts off for a safety feature,
which is really nice, especially if you have animals running around, or little kids too, which this does get warm, so probably hot. I didn't touch it to test it, but it does say it's caution hot, so I would suggest you don't put it where, if your dog or little kid's gonna touch it, then you might want to put it somewhere where they can't. But
okay, so you just turn it down over to pilot, strike it till the little flame comes up.
Yep.
Then you just hold it down for 10 to 20 seconds. Let off of it, and then you just turn it over to low. And it lights up.
I think we even caught that.
You got low, and you got high. Usually I'll crank it up on high, let them the ceramic get nice and hot, and then just turn it down to low, and good to go. I can already feel the heat coming off.
Yeah, I can too. It's kind of chilly today, so might stand here all day in front of this. You can see the brick or whatever that is, ceramic is heating up. This is turning orange. But yeah, it's really nice to have, and it's supposed to run up to 6 hours on low on one of those 1 pound cylinders. So it can be kind of pricey, but like I said, we only run and actually we probably could have just run it for about 3 hours, but I think it took me a little while to realize how much I was smothering so that we would wake up and turn it off. But I think once we got it warmed in here, we probably could have shut it down after an hour or two, maybe, maybe 3, but I think maybe a couple hours. Probably would have done it for the whole night, but...
They also do make a adapter with a hose that you can actually hook it to the bigger 20-pound propane. So if you don't want to use a bunch of these up, if you have a long-term stay planned and you're going to need some heat, that might be a better route to go than using these, because you're going to go through several of these price-wise. But...
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we were happy with this purchase. Really glad we got something since... our heat's been strictly electric, but we ended up in places that, pretty much our whole trip was a boondock trip, and we didn't really account for it being so cold in New Mexico. I don't know if that's record lows for them, but it got down to like the 20s overnight, so it got pretty cold, and we didn't account for that, so... Yep, so we made this sudden purchase, but I'm really glad we did. Now we're ready for whenever we're going on our next cold trip.
Our biggest issue with the boondocking part was we couldn't run our generator because we was in a campground, so they do have a quiet time. So after 10 o'clock, we couldn't run it from 10 to 7 a.m. So that was one reason why we had to not have any heat, since was strictly electric.
Right, because if we would have been able to use the generator, we would have just run the generator and run our electric heater that we use. But yeah. So anyway, if you're wondering about the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy, then this kind of just gives you a little bit of review of what we think of it, and we really like it. We think it worked more than extremely well. We got this. This is a Reliance hydroller. I'm assuming hydroller. And this we got for our gray water, because we do not have any kind of plumbing. I have a big white wash tub that I use for dishes. And then we have this that we use for, like, washing face or whatever, brushing teeth and stuff. And we don't want to, and in most cases aren't allowed to, dump our gray water on the ground. So we kind of just was using a makeshift jug that it's pretty old, so we didn't really want to keep using it. So we wanted to get something a little easier to deal with too. So if we want to dump it, in the dump station or whatever, we can. This is an 8-gallon. We picked this up at Walmart. It was like $38. I'll turn this around. This does have a handle. And this, you have to be a little careful. You don't want to bust that handle. But that handle pops up. Or that metal piece and the handle pops up. Sorry, we still got sand on here from the beach. That snaps. I'm going to turn this around a little bit. Snaps down. There.
It is a little cold.
And I'm not very strong, and that's kind of it's pretty stiff. But it snaps down over this lip right here, so you can just tilt it and pull it. So also we liked it because this can actually hook over the ball part of our hitch. So we can just hook this over that and drive it up to a dump station if we need to dump it. So we thought that would be pretty cool. And we also liked, this seals really well. But we like that this is a really big, you can kind of see according to my hand, my seal came off. But there you can see that the hole there to pour into is perfect for us. I'll get that popped back in there. There we go. It just kind of sits down in there, so it's not a big deal. But it does seal well, because we had it just sitting down normal in the camper, and it didn't leak out or anything, so that was fine. And I don't know what that little spout thing was on the inside of it. It shows on the picture that you're supposed to be able to use it as a spout, but it's all solid and far as I can tell, non-functional, so I'm not really for sure what that was supposed to be for. But anyway, so we were pretty happy with that, and we just used that on this last big trip that we took, and it worked extremely well for what we needed. And we don't use a whole lot of water while we're out, so the 8-gallon, it wasn't even full, and we just waited and got till we got home to dump it out. So yeah, so that's something. If you need something for gray water, or if you just, you know, maybe if you just want a big jug to carry, you know, drinking water around in, it can be used for that too.